Welcome to the Stretch to Go podcast. My name is Ian Ray, your host. Today I have Madlen Pinto, co-founder of Muki Shoes, based out of Porto, Portugal. Madlen, welcome back to the Stretch to Go podcast.
Hello. Thank you for having me again.
Yes, so Madlen, I know you guys have the spring, summer, I guess when this podcast will come out, it's going to be pretty much next month, but we're looking at some spring and summer collections that you just have released and working on. I'm excited for your brand. Obviously, you guys are based in Portugal, so a lot of great quality leather. Let's talk about a little bit about some of the new collections that you have available that we kind of talk and kind of show and tell today. First of all, I know the ones that I received from you, these are the Lyras. Any new updates that is compared to these models? I mean, can you kind of tell us what you guys have worked on as far as construction-wise? The outsole is still the same, but you guys have worked on several different things, correct?
Yes, the outsoles are still the same, both. We're still, the original sole, we're working since the beginning with it and super happy. Last year we came up with the Nova sole. It was more a style decision, but then we could also include some features that have been requested from us from part of our clients. So having a little bit wider in the front part. Yeah, and they're a little bit higher. So we could also do not only in style, but also in function. Some other models like I think the Nova sole, for example, works better in rainy weather. They're less as it just goes a bit higher on the side. That protects it. But the features since the last autumn winter collection are the same. What changed? We had some new design ideas. I can show here. We worked for spring on a nice flowery print. That's our design. And we're really, really happy with this one because it's kind of delicate and but super stylish at the same time. So they're still versatile. It's not too flashy for those that still look on having something that is more on the sober side. So I find this one super, super beautiful. Looking forward. They will launch also in the next weeks. With this sole, we have then a bit more unisex model. It's a very, very, very soft suede. So they are really, really smooth. It's like a second skin. So these ones are also pretty nice. And
What model is that one?
sorry?
What's the name of that model?
This one will be called Una Pistachio.
Oh, okay. So pistachio. Okay.
And we have, after the successful launch of our Cefa model, that is more like a kind of outdoorsy model for hiking, for going into nature. We made this spring-summer version, so it has no thick lining. It's just organic cotton inside. They're also like super smooth and flexible. And these ones also come with a Nova sole.
And what's that one called?
This one is called Vulcão. So it's Portuguese for volcano.
Okay. Cool.
So this one will also come in the next weeks, probably when this podcast is live. So they will be already available in our shop. And then of course we're looking forward to the comeback of our sandals that have been awaited by our customers. We have some additions, some new colorways like the Soca model, our clogs that have been a success last year. They will also come now in this brownish tone. As you can see, they're like super smooth. Also, it's also like they really feel like a second skin. Yes, because even in the manufacturer, sometimes they say like, "Oh, we should make them a bit thicker, a bit stiffer, so they look good when you put them in the shelves." And we're like, I think we prefer that they look good on the feet and feel comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if it looks kind of like rigid and has structure, like you won't get that lightweight and like flexible feel, right? If it's more rigid. And
Yes.
so I would say, like, I agree with you. I think it's really about the foot, not the, obviously
Yeah,
the
sometimes
eye appealing.
Yeah, when they come in the factory and they do them, and it falls like that, and they're like, oh no, we should do that. That's why there exist supports, and we're like, no, that's great, now we really know that they are what we want them to be, like just, if you put a sock somewhere, it also wouldn't stand by itself. So for us, it's a good sign.
And what's the name of that Birkin? Is that the sandals for that one?
This one is called soca. So soca is a clock in Portuguese. So meanwhile, while the years pass, always when we come to the moment that we have to give the names, we're like thinking about, so we did after 8 years or 9 years doing shoes, designing every year, coming up with new names. And at the end, we decided, okay, now I think we prepared our audience enough so we can go now with the Portuguese names.
Yeah. And I mean, you're trying to really stay true to your roots, right? I mean, this is a Portuguese brand from Portugal, so like you want to make it unique instead of just a generic name. So I really appreciate that you guys do that. So
Yeah.
keep doing it.
It's a little lesson. So if people are interested, they will find it easily if they put it into the translators.
And then I know we're kind of mentioning like you have something coming up too towards a sneak peek of maybe possibly for fall winter. Is that correct?
Yes, it's really really fresh. It's collaboration. I mean, we've been looking since the beginning, since we started. There is this big dilemma between making natural shoes and also at the same time having them waterproof. So membranes are a possibility, but they are never natural. We work with burel, that is it's a felted wool, very typical from Portugal, which is super repellent and warm and really amazing. But yeah, if it comes really on the tough point, it's still wool. So it's at some point always permeable. So we were always deciding of like, okay, either it's really a rain boot, something that is 100%, or otherwise we didn't feel so comfortable in mixing materials. The sole manufacturer with whom we work for our Nova sole, they went on a journey last year and created a rain boot. So we said like, okay, we would be definitely interested, but only if it's barefoot. First they thought about like making really kind of like high rain boot, but we felt also like it would be great, if it would be even more versatile, if it would be something that you could wear also, because I mean, here in Portugal, in Porto, it rains a lot. Everybody thinks that it's like, but that's the south of Portugal. But up here in the north, we get sometimes 2-3 months rain non-stop, and it's not just like a little bit, it's like really heavy rains. So we were like, you need it also in having, just bringing the kids to school, walking here in the city. It would be super, super great to have something that then at the end, you can even go to work with. So they came up, I can have a little, with this model. And first we thought like, oh, it looks really chunky. Is it even zero drop? But yes, it is, it's like they made it looking that it's if it would have a heel rise. But now you can see here under, it's really zero drop. It's just an illusion. And yeah, besides the chunky look, you can see the foot shape. They are actually really, really lightweight, and they're still flexible due to having a bigger stack height than usually Muki shoes would have. I mean, they're like in 17 millimeters. Ours are usually 3.5. So definitely there is a difference. It's not that they are that you have the same ground feel than in our usual models. But also we have more profiles, so for wet conditions they definitely get approved, and also for people that in winter need a bit more insulation from the ground, for those who live in climates that are definitely colder. So yeah, we found this a really nice, they came up really, really nice solution, and we're really happy to be able to collaborate with them for this project. So yeah, we're definitely looking forward to for these ones to come out. In no dates yet available to announce, but I would definitely, when the rain comes again, they will be here.
And what's the name of that one by chance?
No name yet.
No.
No name yet.
Okay.
So we're open.
Okay. Still brainstorming. I got you. Okay.
But we will come up with a Portuguese name.
I'm curious, Madeln. So, like, when you guys have collaborated with previous designers or other people outside of Muki, what goes on in the process of collaborating? As because maybe do they have knowledge of what goes into making barefoot type of shoes, or do you have to educate them and like kind of show them what it is, like what goes on behind the scenes of collaboration with designers and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, nobody knew anything, you would even go and would say the word barefoot shoes and they would look at you like, what is that? So no idea. Meanwhile, it's a lot more common that people know it. But still, I find it in general, how we practice, what we imagine a barefoot shoe to be like is difficult to find or even get the understanding. So because we take it most of the time to a more extreme level. That means we're really strict usually in this, like we want them, if we design it, we want it to be very minimal. It has to feel like a second skin. It has to be really entering and it's like a glove. Of course, if we collaborate in some things, because some things we can't, for example, the rain boot is something that is a shared investment also. So we can't decide 100% how we would, there's a limit to our decisions. And then there's also the compromise that we have to say, no, that's good. We still enter in that part. But if it's completely in ours, we're very strict. And then those who participate, when we invite, then we feel that we are more rigid in our ideas. When we get invited and it's the other way around, then we also feel that obviously then we have to accept also other conditions. And that's fine because we wouldn't do it if we wouldn't stand behind it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's it. We feel straight away if it's like, with whom are we doing it? Are the values the same? Are we going in the same direction? And we really feel that this needs to be a match. We wouldn't just do it, even if we would know it. Okay, maybe it would sell, but if it's not, I think it's seen on a long term. We really want to show our clients this is what we do, and this is what you can expect, and this is what you will get from us. High quality, minimalist shoe.
So obviously with what you guys have done for the years in creating barefoot shoes, do you see that there's going to be more and more brands like yourself who do collaborate with people out from the outside of the barefoot shoe space into creating a collaboration piece? Do you think there's going to be more opportunities for brands like in the barefoot shoe space?
I think so. Yeah, I think because in the beginning it was really a small niche where people that had either problems with their feet or problems with posture, and they would come and somebody would tell them. And then it came, I think for me, it came also with my children that I was looking for something better, better options, more free, while they were running around the whole summer barefoot. In winter, we had to find some solutions. In the beginning, I was even sewing myself some little leather shoes for them, or doing it really at home, trying to figure out, because there were not many options out there. And now I feel that, here, at least in Porto, when we walk around, we see a lot of people with barefoot shoes, or also children in the schools. You really feel that while 8 years ago nobody had a clue, we needed to educate everybody. Now it's the majority of people have at least heard about it, and that's also makes that then the mainstream brands, bigger brands are looking into that, because they see, okay, that we don't need to do the educational part anymore, that there has been already a path walked. And I think that makes it possible to do more collaborations. And also we feel where we have the solid base of knowledge, because we we created the movement, we're part of the creation of all this, can bring in a lot of knowledge and experience. Because sometimes I feel that the new brands that come up, they're trying to jump on this train, but then you figure out, oh, they still have some stack hype. So it's not, or for example, the other day I was in a big store and I saw, oh, they finally have barefoot shoes, and I was even looking into them, and it was for children, and my son was like, can I try them? And I was like, of course you can try them. Even for me, it's interesting to know. And he was slipping in and he said, no, it has nothing to do with barefoot shoes. I feel that I have a shoe on my feet. That's not the goal of it. And I'm like, yeah. But then he was like starting to always like, interesting there. They're a bit like softer, and so actually he started to explore something different, and I felt like, okay, there is obviously also a big marketing around that now. So Barefoot Shoes is a seller,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, there is a huge difference. But that also might be interesting for people to explore different yeah, because we are different, so there might be also for different people different styles, different levels of how much you want to feel the ground, or different width. I have more narrow feet, I have medium wide feet, I have super wide feet. So I think there's still space. This is a growing, and I have the feeling that it's also here to stay. It's something, because once you go and enjoy actually the comfort of it, it's difficult to go back to something restricting. Yeah, I think it's definitely here to stay, and it will just be part of maybe big brands or sports brands. They will have it as part of their range of shoes. I think it will not substitute, but it will be part of the range of shoes. And for a smaller brands, definitely this will be a challenge. Also, how we as pure barefoot shoe brands will maintain. But I also feel that, for example, in our case, in Muki Shoes, as we're not doing just like classical styles or going into some trendy styles, we're also looking for different materials and the sustainable part. I think that's also something very attractive for our clients.
Okay, so if you were to explain to someone who like just hopped onto the podcast and this episode, give me a quick overview of like who Muki Shoes is, as far as like, who is it for? Like, what type of person would look into Muki Shoes or like be wearing Muki Shoes? Obviously, you have an avatar or like a general picture of who would fit in or would appreciate your guys' work. So kind of give me a quick overview.
Yeah, I think people who like Muki Shoes, they are conscious about the environment. That means the environment. Where do I walk? How do I walk? How do I step into this world? And with which materials now, what involves me, what is around me, what do I put on my body, what do I want to wear on my feet, materials, style, and feeling. So this is all the combination. It's not chasing a trend. It's not chasing neither just for like the fit as a barefoot brand, but also the sustainable aspect of it and the natural materials.
Yeah. I guess that's another question too to follow up, because having tried many barefoot shoes in my 2 years and more of this journey, I've noticed obviously like just looking at it and then of course wearing them, I do notice differences of material and like how it wears out over time, or some of them do like age well. So like for like say Muki Shoes, since we know that you guys are sourcing there locally, we know that you guys don't have synthetic materials. You can find those in, I guess, the lesser quality shoes, right? In any shoe, whether if it's conventional shoes to barefoot shoes, you can find those. Do you think most people should? I guess what's the benefit of the pricing? Because most people see pricing as a big factor too into barefoot shoes, because they know that it's more expensive than like a conventional shoes. But you can go the cheaper route, right, of finding cheap quality shoes, but they won't last long. They won't look as nice. They won't feel as nice. So
yeah,
how does someone like decide the back, like the price? Because like pricing can be a huge factor for people, whether if it's shoes or clothes or anything, right? It could be anything, but
I mean, this is a question that we we confront ourselves with many times, because we see also barefoot shoe brands that started producing in Portugal and now meanwhile went to Vietnam or China due to price costs. It's just reducing costs, né? Because here we have a lot of quality, but it's also a lot more pricey. So sometimes we see what here the manufacturing and with all the materials costs, others can sell for the same price a shoe or for a little more. So obviously our shoes have to cost a lot more. But that's also something that we definitely feel it's about the materials. We want to support our local economy. For us, it's a big advantage, and we feel really that this is very unique and special that we are 45 minutes drive from our factory. So this is also about all the processes. We can definitely produce things in smaller scales. That is also something that is a sustainability factor, because we want to produce more. We don't. It's difficult. We have everything. We don't need to produce nothing new. We wouldn't say that to an artist. There's a lot of art. We don't have to make more art. There is definitely the right to do some new things, but how do we do it? Where do we source it? How do we bring it from A to B? How many times it has to travel from one place to the other to then be transported back? As well as then, in which scale do we produce? Do we really just produce thousands of pairs of shoes? Because these are the minimum order quantities, and then we have to sell them cheaper to be able to sell them? Or can we also focus on, okay, maybe we make a more limited production. This is more unique. This is for somebody that cares, that wants something that is not equal to everything else, but also has the possibility to pay a bit more. So on one hand, we want to include. On the other hand, the pricing also exclude. But it's a very difficult and ethical question, Ivan. No?
Sure.
Well, like, where do we give value? So we want also that the people that produce, for example, our wool that comes here from Portugal, if we would produce a wool, maybe even the same quality, that's not even a question, from New Zealand, it would come from New Zealand, travel to here, and then be manufactured here, and maybe then travel to the US to be sold there. So all these ways and everything. So we prefer to use something that is made here, because we also see what surrounds us. And when I go with my kids to the mountains and go for a hike, and I see the sheep there walking around with some bell, and I'm like, it's also part of my company supporting that this still exists, that we have still this ambient, and that we support the local shepherds. So yeah, that's something that we feel that it's bigger now than just the decision of what looks good. No? This is also what is it made of. But yeah, it reflects on the pricing, because we couldn't just go lower. That would be a different business model. So we've solving already quite some costs in the last years, because as everywhere, everything is rising. So feel okay, there is always this limbo of how do we deal with that, and where do we actually want to save? But in every meeting that we have about that, when Marta and we get together, we say, one thing we don't want to save, we don't save on quality. That's a no-go for us, because we want to be here also still in some years. We don't want to disappoint our customers. What we got them used to, that's what we really want to maintain, because it's our community, and they know what they get from us. And even if they look for some other styles or other times, they will know at some point, at Muki Shoes, I get this for my price, and I'm really satisfied with that. And that's something that we really want to maintain.
I can't, it's hard for me to understand, because I'm the consumer. I'm not the owner like you are, you and Martha. So it's definitely different from hearing from your perspective now, because these aren't mass produced, and these are quality shoes. So yes, it makes sense on your end to obviously have that fine line of supporting the people who are basically giving you all the materials, along with the community that you have there and building a strong reputation of quality shoes. Because yeah, if you start outsourcing and bringing in cheaper stuff, then people will know that the quality is going down, and it's not the same as before. So it is a hard fine line to balance it, or, because you do have to make profit. You have to sustain and feed your family and your employees. But I think it's a hard for me to see from an outside perspective, because yes, there are cheaper brands you can go to, but it's probably not going to find a shoe that's going to last long or, be sustainable. So I appreciate you, for sharing that, because I'm sure that's something you guys are always talking about
Yeah, no,
and always
it
trying
is.
to.
Yeah, it is definitely. And I'm totally okay because I think we all make decisions in our lives. And in some things we give more value. We say, okay, that's for me, I want to pay more for that. That's worth it. Other things not. So I think each one has its own criteria, and that's totally fine. I think also what we sometimes have to look at is, for example, when we started our resole program, it's not available in the US. We could just do it only for Europe, but we have the resole program, so you can change your sole with us. That was a project that we did really from heart because we don't earn nothing with that. We're just doing the process. No? It's something because we felt that this makes Muki Shoes as it is so special, and showing this is a vote for confidence into our brand also. So yeah, I totally understand that it's difficult sometimes, but also to look at the way of like, I can reuse this product, I can repair this product, and maybe I need less. So, because we also always look into the aspect of having a lot, and maybe I can decide for a simple, plain design and say also, that's the shoe that I want and I will wear it for several years. That's also obviously always a sustainability aspect, even though that a lot of brands wouldn't go for it because yes, selling one good quality product or a lot with less quality, but yeah, that's our vote. We go for the quality, and I think there is space and room for all of us at the end.
Well, I'm just grateful that you guys are sticking to your values, your core mission, and that's great. I think that you continue to do that because that's where I think the brand itself, the right people will come to you and see obviously the shoes and quality that there is. So keep staying true to it. Love for you to kind of give us a little sneak peek, because I know you will be there at Anya's Barefoot Shoe Expo coming up in May in a few weeks. What should those who are attending this expo expect? What are you bringing? Are you bringing like some spring summer collection? Kind of give us also like a little sneak peek or what to expect actually at the booth there at the Barefoot Expo.
Yeah, we will. So Anya at Anya's shop, she will have our shoes there directly to sell. So that's great, especially for sandals, some classic models, the Lyra models also. You can buy directly there, take them straight away home, and we will bring some complementary styles that she won't carry to try on. We can only bring to try on, like we did last year in the Barefoot Expo. But if you like something that Anya doesn't carry, you can order directly at our booth, and they will be shipped then to your home. So that will be the concept. Like we did it last year, it has been a success, and a lot of people have been visiting us at our booth. Which was really great. And in general, the experience was so lovely to meeting all the other barefoot shoe brands, the owners, the people, the workers, and also all the people that came. Yeah, it was such a good ambient, and yeah, we're really looking forward to this year's edition in Chicago.
Perfect. Yeah, so for those of you looking forward to the tickets on sale, I think it's on the barefootexpo.com. You can buy it there. So I'm looking forward to meeting you, the team there, and I'm appreciative, of course, of knowing you and, of course, working with you here on the podcast. So where can my audience find you, learn more about Muki Shoes? So feel free to share email, social, and then, of course, website that they can connect and learn more about what you guys are doing.
Yeah. Yeah, on mukishoes.com, you can see you can have the shop and see all our available models. And yeah, and socials, we also have Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, whatever you find us if you put Muki Shoes. And yeah, also subscribe to our newsletter on mukishoes.com, and you will get always the latest updates and some specials for those that want to stay in tune.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you, Madeline, for hopping on once again, being back as a guest on the podcast, and looking forward to many more in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ian.